Hey everybody, welcome back to our weekly Walking Dead reviews. This week it is Fear the Walking Dead Season 4, Episode 4, Buried. And with me as always is Jason.
6 feet under, folks.
That's, he's going to keep doing that every week. Something just so bad. It just, again, whatever ball I get going, he's just going to stop it dead in its tracks. You know what we forgot to do last week?
What did we forget to do?
We forgot to rate that episode.
We did indeed.
Yeah, that's all right, though.
You want to rate it now?
No, I don't. But let's go ahead and look at this last one that just came out, Buried. Jason, your overall thoughts of the episode?
I enjoyed it a lot, but it felt like the pacing was a little off for me. You get that feeling?
With this episode, no.
No?
No, I thought everything was great. I think this is one of the better episodes of Fear that we've had for a while. I definitely think it's the best one we've had so far this season.
Really?
Yeah, I thought it told a great story. Not just in the story it was telling, but how it told it as well. I thought the soundtrack, well, in that case, the score, the visuals, all of it. Of course, the actors are always great on that show. Yeah, I thought it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it was telling a really dramatic tale, not just of what was going on at that moment, of course, with Nick dying, but at the same time, we're getting closer and closer, and we're starting to find out what happened with the stadium. And, we're definitely getting some clues. We had some big bombs dropped this week.
Yeah, we did.
Okay, all right. Funny to note, because now I have to change. I think I might have to change my predictions again. I'm not sure. I'm a little hesitant. Naomi, who I predicted would turn on the group, did actually try to leave this week and abandon them in fear that the stadium wouldn't last, which is what I said the motivation was for her turning against them and going with the Vultures. Since they've done that now, I've been thinking about it a lot. Is she still going to do that? Would they still do that? Is she even still alive? Because they're saying she's dead, but I don't think the cast, I don't think the crew knows for sure.
No, I don't think they know for sure either.
And even if she is dead or she's going to die, it will be something massive to her face, which will take out an eye. I've been calling this for weeks now.
Yeah, that's a very specific prediction that you've been making.
What do I get if I'm right?
I don't know. We'll find out how much, magic comic book knowledge you have after if said event happens.
There's nothing comic book related with Fear.
I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, the only thing comic book related now is Morgan, but in the comics, Morgan was long dead before he left the main group. Well, at least as far as the show is concerned on the timeline. So no, there's no comic for Fear. I'm pulling this right out of my ass.
All right. We'll see.
This is pure prediction. I think she will die. I don't think she's dead yet, though. I think her and Madison, maybe a couple of the others, are being held up and being held prisoner, I guess I should say, with the Vultures. All right. Anyways, so. Yeah, so I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. What do you have for your notes?
Well, most of my stuff is related to the story itself. I liked that Madison, they had to start thinking outside of the box for the locations that the Vultures might not think to scavenge. Like, that always stuck out. I was like, that's smart, because that's something that I feel like you would have to do in that situation. Because bowling alleys, I don't know if you remember, there was a bowling alley near where we used to go, and that place had like food and had a grill in there and stuff. Places that you wouldn't normally think food would be.
That's a little different, though, sir. That is Wisconsin.
That's true.
Yeah, we are almost born genetically to be drawn to bowling alleys. Because bowling is a big time sport up here, along with beer and basically bar food, which is what you get at a bowling alley.
Is beer a sport?
To some people it is, especially in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, I suppose you're not wrong about that.
So, I thought that was interesting. This is one of the things I like the most about Fear. Fear does this better than the main show, I believe, which is, we're dealing with situations like, you have this encampment, you have this coliseum, but there's, and everybody wants it to work, but and that's what the show dealt with, the fact that they're losing faith in it. Things are not so solid, even though they've been there for a year. It's just not solid enough to where, given the scenario, a lot of people are doubting it. You see the fractures this week, even more so than I thought that there would be.
I'm gonna pull a really weird reference out on here on you, but I've been sinking some time into this new game that just came out, and one of the mechanics in it is that the people in your city give up hope that your settlement is going to last, and they try to walk off. And for some reason, that really reminded me of this.
So now, what game is that?
That's called Frostpunk.
Frostpunk. All right.
Yeah.
No idea what that is. Is it awesome?
It's amazing. It's like a Wisconsin winter, only 10 times worse. New Ice Age, steampunk sort of city building apocalypse stuff. Anyway, great game.
Okay. All right. Winter steampunk apocalypse. Is that what I heard?
Yep.
That does sound like fun. That sounds interesting. No, but yeah, I agree. One of the few things and complaints that I have about this week, and just that I have in general, is that we're not seeing many of the, I guess, the commoners of the stadium. There's, I think they said upwards to 50 people there, isn't there?
Yeah, something like that.
We just don't ever see them. I think we've seen a few of them here or there, but I think the episode would have done a lot better overall if we would have been seeing more of them.
See, I hadn't thought about it until you brought it up, but yeah, it does seem like we haven't seen a lot of the people outside of the main cast, even though a bunch of people are supposed to be living there.
Right. So, but yeah, things are fracturing. People are looking for different things to do. Naomi, she bails. Strand has a plan, a pretty good one too. Strand's execution may not always be the best, but his plans tend to be pretty good.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I like him so much.
Was surprised that he would just open that to Cole, though. We get to the interaction between them, which I don't know. Is it just me, or is it just kind of awkward? The communication between them. Yeah,
it does feel like a little awkward. Like some of the Alexandria conversations from, you remember way back when?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know what you're talking about there.
No. Oh God, who was the scout that went with Daryl? You remember him?
Oh, Aaron.
Yeah, you remember the conversations between him and Daryl? For whatever reason, I always felt like those conversations were very stunty.
A little bit. They were very different people. So nowadays, Aaron's boyfriend got killed, and we actually haven't really seen much evolution of him because there's like 10,000 cast members on the main show. So, I thought it was really interesting. The groups that we got and the interactions that happened with them. I thought this whole thing with Madison and do you remember the head Vultures guy's name?
Mel, M-E-L.
Is it Mel? Okay, well his brother's dead. He's not dead yet, but Nick killed him. Kind of weird to see Nick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was the interaction between Madison and Mel. I thought fell a little flat. I thought that could have been a little bit better, but I'm kind of nitpicking at this point.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that,
Oh, you wouldn't say that?
No, interactions between cast is one of the biggest things about The Walking Dead. I mean, it's a drama based around the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah. I think probably one of my favorite parts of this week's episode, though, has got to be the water park and the zombies and just the scenarios that they had to deal with there. I thought that was a lot of fun. New and interesting ways to deal with walkers is always good.
Yeah, for my money, I liked the cactuses. Like the walkers with the cactus needles stuck in their cheeks and stuff.
That was nice fun. To see. Did you like those more than the water park walkers?
It's hard to pick. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just something about how they did the effects for the cactuses. I don't know. I really liked them.
One of the biggest things, like I said, was the fact that Naomi was just going to leave. Just going to leave Alicia. Pretty dirty tricks there. Was going to take all that stuff and just walk off. I'm a little surprised she didn't smack her in the back of the head or something. Trying to get away. Yeah, and Alicia's just all kind of chill with it. She just walks up. She's like, yeah, let's get you some gas. And I'm like, what?
Nah, at least keep the stuff, like if she
Right.
wants to go off on her own, fine, whatever. Don't take the supplies with you.
Right, I thought that was a little weird. And then,
Yep.
but of course, the biggest reveal of the episode is the fact that Naomi is Laura.
Yeah. Naomi is Laura.
All right, there's Jason adding in a bunch to that topic.
Yeah, well, I mean, like,
You're just like, yeah, that's,
Yeah. that
that's-
happened.
that's a thing.
Dude, I don't know. It blew me out of the water.
It
but-
really did. I thought it would. I actually thought it was a little too convenient. It's like, oh, they just so happen that's her.
Yeah, it was like, wow, that was quick.
But it is kind of cool. It's all right. I think it's a little weak as far as the plot device goes, but it's going to keep it all together, I guess. They've got 12 more episodes in this season. If they feel that they can't take a side adventure to go find John's, I don't know, his girl. I guess you can't call it his girlfriend, but, that it was kind of a shocking reveal, but at the same time, it was like, really? Just so happens to be her? Really?
No, yeah.
Alright.
It was, well, and, like, it felt like, I don't know, a very easy tie-in for his storyline.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope, much as I like John as a character, I hope they don't rush his story.
Well, all the more interesting that he decides not to go with at the end, though, to go get revenge. To at least see for himself. I was really shocked by that.
Yeah, that was interesting, and I do hope we get to find out why.
Oh, I think so. I mean, we'll see Morgan and John again.
Yeah.
we're down to like 3 cast members now for Fierce, so they're
Yeah,
gonna kill another one off next week.
Morgan's just looking for a reason to leave. He tells John that he's only going to stick around until Nick is buried, right?
I find that so surprising. He did just get shot. You think he'd be like, you know what? Let me hang out in the SWAT van for a while,
Yeah.
just because bullet in the leg.
Well, I mean, it's Morgan. What did you expect they were going to do with him?
Well, maybe not shoot him in the leg. Although I think the fact that he's kind of gimped right now is going to play a role. I'm not quite sure how, but they tend to do something like that for a reason.
Yeah, that's true. You think he's going to end up with permanent deficits because of it?
I don't know. It's kind of funny because he's, maybe Naomi is dead. Maybe they lost a nurse. See what I tell you? What did I tell you? What did I tell you about the doctors, the healers?
You know what I'm learning?
What?
My profession is very dangerous in the zombie apocalypse.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. Yeah, but you're a small, wiry guy, so you can get away. You can
Yeah, that's true.
you can sneak away from stuff. So.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Like I said, I have no doubt that Naomi's going to die, even regardless of this connection. Her being Laura and connection to John and all that. Although I think the best is yet to come for John, and I'm looking forward to the time when we get to see him now that he's got both his guns, doing some double shooting, crazy
Dual wielding action.
Yep, old west dual wielding gun killing zombies action. I think it's gonna be nuts.
I don't know how in you are with the gaming scene, Chris.
Pew 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 pew.
But God, I hope they make an Overwatch reference. Somebody calls him McCree or something.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't actually. I'm not catching that reference. Oh, Overwatch. Yes. All right. I
Yeah.
got you. Sorry, that's one took me. So I don't play it too much. So, pew pew pew. Come on, Jason. Pew pew twice.
Pew pew.
There you go. All right. Can't believe I even had to ask. That's your favorite guy,
More of a
right?
bang bang.
John's your favorite, isn't he?
He is.
Well, Nick is dead now, so.
Yeah, so John's definitely my favorite. John and Morgan. And I'm glad that,
What's that?
you know,
I don't know.
I'm
Say
glad
that
they
again.
seem-
I had a little bit of technical difficulties there. What did you say?
Whatever
You're glad for what?
I'm glad that John and Morgan seem to be getting along
Oh,
for whatever reason.
You know, and that is funny because they do seem to be connecting. Where Morgan was just like, yeah, no, I'm not going to hang around with anybody. No, here he is. He's just like, all right, I'll hang out with the guy. I do find it a little bit funny though, and they've done this in both shows where they're a little casual about like, well, we'll catch up with you later.
Yeah.
They've done that in both shows at this point. I'm like, really? With the way people die, and you know the lack of phones, and you didn't really talk about where each other's going.
The buddy system, man. You know, establish a plan, go off in pairs.
Yeah, but it's like, we'll let you know. Like, will you really? Didn't you just lose a guy today?
Yup.
It can happen at any time.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the guy they lost, I mean, it wasn't necessarily because they split up. It was because he decided to go on murder rampage.
Oh, who are you talking about?
Nick, who are you talking about?
Oh, okay. I suppose that's a murder rampage. When I think mass killings, but
No.
yeah.
Okay.
You definitely killed a guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think's going to happen? I mean, this was all build up. You know, this is all talking about what's about to happen in the past with the Coliseum, but what's going to happen here in the present. It looks like they're going to join two fights at one time here.
Yeah. I'm hoping that the big build up, we're going to see a big payoff with now I went and forgot her name. Nick's mom.
Madison. Nick's mom.
Madison. Yeah.
you said that like your buddy's mom. Good old Nick's mom.
No, I'm hoping to see some big payoff with Madison. Because they're building up and building up, and I hope that it's a build up with a payoff and not just building up to nothing.
I think we're going to get a good fight. It's like I said. I think something bad's going to happen here. Something's going to get triggered, and the vultures are going to attack or defend themselves. Maybe the Coliseum's just going to be like, all right, that's it. And which, if I was the Coliseum people, that's what I would do. I mean, if you're getting that close to being done with food, you got to make a choice before you run out of energy, before energy starts getting low. It's like, look, we have bullets.
Yeah, I mean, you can either starve to death or you can go out fighting. And if you ask me, that's still the better way to go out.
Right. I mean, they have the advantage of cover and structure. I mean, those cars, that's not the best cover. It's
Nope.
some, but hey, they're hiding behind metal objects that contain fuel. So,
yep. Well, and obviously, I think the Coliseum. Like if you think about it, a Coliseum still got plenty of places to hide too.
Oh,
so
billion places to hide.
Yeah, and so even if the vultures try to siege it for whatever reason, like lobbing in Molotov cocktails or something, there's all those like hallways and stuff inside the Coliseum that they could hide in.
Yeah, no, I mean even your average like high school football stadium has plenty of places you can hide, and it looks like it's fairly big.
Yeah, it does.
I don't think it's a pro baseball stadium, but it looks like a minor league or something. It looks pretty big. So, yeah, it's kind of funny though because this was just episode 4. So are they going to drag this out into a fight in like 3 episodes? I mean, is that what's going to happen? God, I hope not.
Yeah, I'm hoping that it doesn't do the thing that we saw with The Walking Dead last season, where
and this season.
Yeah.
In this last one.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. This last season, where they like dragged the fights out so long. Like I felt like for the war arc, they almost dragged it on too long.
Yeah, no, they did. They didn't pull the trigger on that stuff right.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that we'll get a nice, short, action-packed full fight, and not something that drags on half the season.
So a couple things I wanted to note here. The zombie that they found in the library, there was those books that were right in front of it.
Yeah.
One of which was The Mist.
Oh, Stephen King?
Yeah, well, Stephen King, yes, but it's more of a nod than that. A lot of the original cast of The Walking Dead actually worked on... Sorry, let me try that again. Okay. A lot of the original cast of the Walking Dead from season 1, actually through the first few seasons, worked on a movie called The Mist, including a handful of the people behind the scenes, and they all worked together again on especially the original first season of The Walking Dead. So I think that was a little bit of a nod to that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
no, a lot of people don't. But if you ever get a chance, watch the movie The Mist, based on the book. It's a horribly great story. One of the most tragic endings ever. Have you seen the movie?
I have seen the movie, and I know the ending that you're referring to.
Well, yeah. So you didn't.
God, it's awful.
You didn't recognize Carol and Dale and Andrea?
Believe it or not.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
They look so different from the.
Were you just kind of moving around there?
No.
Okay.
I've been totally still.
Oh, you were breaking up again. All right, go ahead and answer that. I'll edit it.
Okay. What was the question?
Oh, you didn't recognize them?
No, I didn't at all. They look totally different from what I remember being in this. Granted, it's been a few years since I've seen the movie, but I do remember the ending very well.
It has. Dale is very unrecognizable. That's true because he doesn't have his beard. Yeah, no, but a little bit of nod there to that. But by the way, did you happen to see what kind of cat poster it was that Nick got? I could tell it was a cat, but I couldn't tell what was on it. Was that the Hang In There poster?
That's what I thought it was. The Hang In There kitty.
Okay. All right.
Oh, dude, that made me so happy.
So it makes it a little bit more tragic. When every week we seem to find out more and more how attached Nick got to this kid who ends up blowing his brains. Well, not his brains out, but killing him.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, and I think that's good storytelling. Like I said, one of the things that I thought we might see from this season of Fear was, some very different storytelling with flashbacks and such. More often than not, I'm not a fan of the whole black and white and color thing that they have going on, but there's definitely some interesting storytelling. It is weird to see Nick.
Yeah.
But not quite as weird as I thought it was going to be, but it is weird.
Yeah, a little bit, because they keep cutting back to his dead body,
Right. Well, then I thought it was awesome at the end when they're like, yep, time to bury Nick, and then they pull out a cache of weapons. They're like, yep, we're going to bury Nick after we kill all these motherfuckers.
Yep. It was a good way to end the episode. I was very happy with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what else you got in your notes? Mr. Notes.
No, I mean, that's pretty much most of what I've got here.
Mm-hmm.
Other than... No, we covered that.
That's it?
Yeah.
All right. Overall, and this is, I kind of mentioned this earlier on, one of the things I like that Fear does is that it takes these scenarios where you get to see kind of a different way that they go. Like, for example, when you talk about the prison from the original show, and it was like, we won't go, we will fight, and you're seeing a very different dynamic here. Where it's like, maybe I should run. These are very imperfect people. As much as Madison's trying, obviously morale is low.
Well, and like the whole thing about Fear is picking up and running. Like from the very first season, we've seen these people, these characters, pick up everything that they own and take off, trying to escape this.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is a core principle of what Fear is based around. Is like the name says, it is the fear, not just of The Walking Dead, but the fear of this new world.
Right.
They're constantly running. There's no place they can run to that feels safe to them.
Right,
and I think that they probably won't.
Except for a SWAT van. That's pretty safe.
Okay. Is it... You remember in first season when Rick climbed into the tank? I would think a tank would be a pretty safe place to climb into, but no.
Oh my gosh, you bring that up. We were supposed to see a whole story about that.
The tank?
There was a whole story about that tank and the walker that was in there. I forget his name. He's a fairly well-known actor. He's been in a couple series. He's probably most well-known to Star Wars fans as the voice of Darth Maul from everything after Episode 1. Yeah,
Oh, like the animated stuff?
yeah. He's
Really?
he's done a couple shows on Sci-Fi. You'd know him if you saw him. But yeah, there was a whole story they were going to do about how that walker ends up in that tank, and it was going to be a few episodes. It's one of the many things that The Walking Dead had planned and never did that I would have loved to have seen. The biggest of which is the season 2 premiere, season 2 episode 1 premiere, which was almost completely shot and then they scrapped it. It was completely different.
Really? I didn't know that at all.
You know, you may remember, and it goes back several years, where they did some shots of Shane getting chased just by a whole, was just like nothing but walkers behind him. Do you ever remember seeing that ad?
God, on the TV, yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very vaguely.
But you never saw it in the show.
No,
that
you're right.
yeah, that is part of what happened. They go back to Atlanta.
Really?
Yeah, and then they end up backtracking, and you get the series that you get. But they go back to Atlanta, and yeah, they end up he ends up getting chased by a herd. Yeah, there's a few other things that happen in there too, but we'll never see it. It sucks. Okay, well, so yeah, I think that's. Oh, did I make my point? I don't know. I get distracted easily. Yeah, so
me too.
I know. I don't know if it makes for interesting podcasting or not. I hope so. Like and subscribe.
I hope so.
Like and subscribe. Let us know what you guys thought of this week's episode. Comment below. Send us an email. It's ksallmedia@gmail.com. Yeah, let us know what you thought. So, Jason, if you are going to rate this one, let's see, 1 out of 5, what would we rate it? 1 out of 5 caches of weapons. Oh, no, 1 out of 5 silver pistols, because he got the other one this week.
He got the other pistol. That's a good one. All right, I'll give it 3.5.
3.5. I'm gonna go solid 4. This was a really good one. This is so far the best one of the season. I might look back at this one and say it was the best. We got a lot of good things happen. They told a lot of good story here. I just, at the end of it, I was like, gosh, it was good this week. All right, so yeah, let us know what you think. That is gonna do it for us for this week. We will be back, of course, next time for season 4, episode 5. Any last words, Jason?
Yeah, if you're gonna bury caches of weapons, clearly label them for survivors.
Okay. All right. We're just done.
Hey people, thank you for tuning into this episode and taking a listen. If you like our content, if you like what you're listening to, or anything we go over, hey, please, we would not only love to hear more from you, but it'd be great if you could throw some support. You can subscribe right below. Also, you can toss us a line anytime. That's ksawmedia@gmail.com. Of course, you can tune in for our channel anytime for movie reviews, game reviews, a lot of random wacky stuff. Who knows what you'll hear. And of course, our episode each week where we're bringing the nerdiest things we can find, dig up, and maybe not find, maybe the stuff that just drops in our laps. But anyway, hey, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for listening. We hope to hear from you again later. Take care.